Hello, my friends. It's Peg. Sorry, Thursday I had to kind of dash out of here. Both Shell and I had some emergencies going on this week, and so it's been kind of hectic, but I'm back. It's Sunday, and I'm just going to run through what we did on the live show. So I used some protection for my hands. You know, I like to use Art Guard or something. And now I am preparing a spray. This is the Perfect Pearls, and I'm adding it to a little spray bottle because we were talking about rolling with it. And one of the things that you roll with is a die cut machine. So I've got this beautiful butterfly die, and I die cut it. And, you know, that means I roll the paper and everything through the machine. And then I use a roller brush to clean out any residue that's there. And now I'm going to use the spray bottle that has a roller ball in the bottom to stir things up, and spray that with some of that glimmer mist. So I'm going to glue that down to a journal page, and I'm going to move on to the next thing. Next thing is Brayers. Yeah, we all roll with Brayers. I have an assortment of Brayers because I like different types of Brayers. And what I'm doing now is I'm just cleaning this one up. I dropped it before the show. I dropped it into some Murphy's oil soap, and I'm just showing how it will loosen up that paint and you can get it off of the surface. I use a plastic tool to remove that because I don't want to scarf up the surface. So next up, I have these papers. These are wallpaper pieces that came out of a book, and they are going to become part of this junk journal that I'm making out of an old purse. I did video some of that, but I've left that for the people that are members of my channel. So if you want to see that, you need to be a member of the channel. It's only $1.99 a month, but you know, that's how I make this happen. So I'm showing some junk journals. This is one that I had shared with some other people. These pages are mostly done by my friends, and then this is the journal that I'd started the other day with my Stick It journal. And I have a whole series that I'll be doing with sticking it into an art journal because we've got all this stuff. So I'm showing how I'm labeling my new purchases so that I know when I got them and what's the newest in my stash so that I'm not wasting, and I'm using the older things first so that they get used up. So I am showing the different sizes of Brayers and what I like to use. I'm also using these Pebeo Dyna paints. These are things that I've had in my stash for a while. I picked up a couple of new bottles the other day because I wasn't sure if I had those colors, and come to find out, yes, I do have those colors, but that's why I'm putting a number on them and using these first. And I will try to use up a lot of the products that I have purchased this year. That's why I'm doing so much printing and painting and, you know, just getting these mediums out and applying them. So now I have a brayer with a bunch of rubber bands wrapped around it, and I'm showing how you can use that for texture on your gel print. So I'm just using some deli paper today. I had a stash that I needed to use up because, you know, I got a lot of deli paper. And I think my current favorite is the rice paper, but I need to use up the things that are in my studio. So I'm just using up some of that paint that was on my desk. I'm going to pull a print, and I'm making these sandwiches. You know, I lay down my paint and put my first piece down, and then I'll take my stencil and I'll clean it off on the back of another piece of paper. And here I'm cleaning out the holes of the stencil so that I can add more. Want to make sure that that's fairly clean because I want to add more color and more texture. So now I'm adding this pretty lavender color onto that green paint that's already on the It's kind of a greenish blue paint there. And then I'm going to take one of these rollers because we're still rolling with it. These are old stamps that I've had for years and years and years. And I'm just picking up some of the paint to give it some texture, and then I'm going to print that on the back side of this wallpaper, because I'm intending to use these wallpaper pieces in a junk journal. You know, I showed you the junk journal that I'm making at the beginning. And so that is making a nice print. We are rolling with the tools and things that we have here, and I am picking out some stencils that I have not been using. I belong to Stencil Club, and they come every month, and sometimes, you get distracted and you just hang it up and you forget that you've got all these really cool new stencils that you have not used yet. So I'm thinking I need to use some of the stencils from Stencil Club. So now I'm using a different type of brayer. This is a foam brayer. You can get these at the dollar store. I've seen whole packages with paint supplies in the dollar store, and you can get them at your home goods places. And the nice thing about them is you can take that foam off the end, you can wash them out, use them over and over again. And I have these foam things in a lot of different sizes, so I'm just, rolling with it. But I like the foam applicator because it just really gives a nice effect. So all I did was roll some paint through a stencil onto that painted background. So here I'm rolling some paint onto, this is one of those face cleansing, where you clean out your sponges and brushes and all that stuff. But I had this, and it had some different textures on it. So I'm rolling the paint onto that. And then I'm going to clean up some of that paint that's on my desk using those roller brayers and stamps, and just put that down into my junky journal, my stick-it journal, and move to another color. Just continuing to play and use what's out on my desk with those brayers. So somebody was asking me towards the end of the show, do I wash those out? I absolutely do, because you can use these over and over and over again, and you just have to make sure that you clean them out. So now I'm using, this is a watered down gesso. I take my gesso, I put it in these clip jars because I have a hard time with jar lids. If you have hands like mine and you have difficulty opening them, these clip jars from the dollar store or the, they have a nice seal because it's got the gasket, and you can just clip it shut and you don't have to deal with unscrewing and screwing a lid. So I've got a tag, and I'm just going to glue down some tissue paper that's out on my desk. I'm looking around, and I found this piece of napkin from something I was doing the other day, and my fingers are getting too sticky, so now I need to get a brush so that it's not sticking to me. And we're just rolling with what I got out on my desk. Here's a roll of fabric, and I thought, well, that would be kind of nice to use up. So I'm going to glue that down on my tag, and not sure where I ended all of this, but I've got, different pieces of things out on my desk, and I'm going to glue it down. So I would welcome you to Art Joyous Sharing. That's our Facebook group. We do a live show each week, Thursdays on at 10:30 Central, and this was the fast version on my channel of that particular show from last Thursday. So look for Art Joyous Sharing in both Facebook and YouTube, and follow what's going on for the group, because we have a lot of challenges and things. So now I have another stencil, another little foam brayer, and I'm rolling some of that paint onto my surface. This is one of those books that I'm making into a junk journal. I will get out another color. This is a really hot pink. I'm going to use that other side of the stencil. It's got the grid section, and then it's got this floral section. So it's really an interesting stencil because it's got several different shapes and sizes and things of designs. And it's probably a Stencil Girl Club stencil, I'm thinking, because that's what I was trying to use today. But, you know, you can find those over at Stencil Girl Products and check out what they have, because even my friend Shell has wonderful stencils that she designed that are for sale on Stencil Girl Products. And I think all that information is in my description box. You know, if you're looking for information, check the description box below the video. And you can find a lot of information there. So I'm just showing how you can clean out most of the paint from your brayer, whether you're doing it on a page, whether you're sticking it in some water until you can get to it, you know. But you see, I got most of the paint out of that because I'm taking it and using it on my page now, and it's not transferring color. So going back to my original cleanup of this brayer, taking my tool and just scraping some of that paint off. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you are being creative and having a good play, rolling with it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again next time, next Thursday, live on Joyous Sharing, 10:30 Central Time. Bye.